Hello, Merry Christmas Eve to you, or Merry Christmas if it's Christmas Day, or just, oh, happy day, whenever you happen to be watching this. Welcome to the Adrienne Ross Show, where sports and culture connect. I hope you're having a fabulous day and remembering the reason for the season. Merry Christmas. Jesus is the reason for the season. And today I want to share about Caitlin Clark's honors, more awards, racking them up. And we're going to start with the AP, the Associated Press, which has named her the AP Female Athlete of the Year following her impact on women's sports. And there it is. Caitlin Clark honored as AP Female Athlete of the Year following her impact on women's sports. And got some pictures here. They start off with her doing the heart, which she did to her parents while at Iowa. And then you see her here with the fever. And again at Iowa, she's patting this person on the head right here. And there she is with the fever, having a good time. And there we have it. Her introduction, it says here, before the All-Star game against Team USA. And their number one draft in the WNBA 2024. And there's the back, Caitlin Clark. And this article says this to start. Caitlin Clark raised the profile of women's basketball to unprecedented levels in both the college ranks and the WNBA. And Tuesday, she was named the AP Female Athlete of the Year for her impact on and off the court. And so they want to make sure that no one has to ask, why did she get this award? It's on the court, but it's also the impact off the court. So another award recognizing the impact she's had. And it goes on, it talks about her college career, national championship game, talks about how she was the top pick in the WNBA draft as expected, talks about her being rookie of the year, talks about how the fans packed sold out arenas and millions of television viewers tuned in to follow her journey. And this, Clark's exploits were far-reaching, casting a light on other women's sports leagues along the way. And so, how did they come to this decision? A group of 74 sports journalists from the Associated Press and its members voted on the award. She received 35 votes. Simone Biles, go Simone, she was second with 25 votes. And then it goes on to say that she's the fourth women's basketball player to be honored as Female Athlete of the Year since 1931 when it was first presented. And you've got Cheryl Swoops in 93, Rebecca Lobo in 95, and Candace Parker in 2008 and 2021. Candace Parker doing it twice. And I think it's amazing to note, look at the year range between 2008 and 2021. You'd think Candace Parker was coached by Coach Pat Summitt or something in Tennessee. Oh, yeah, that's right. She was. Ha, go Lady Vols. But yeah, so when you think about it, Cheryl Swoops, and that was, obviously her college career. Rebecca Lobo, her college career after helping UConn win its first championship, I believe. And then Candace Parker finished college in 2008 and did some serious work in the WNBA, but four only. And what does Caitlin have to say about it? I grew up a fan of Candace Parker and the people who came before me, and to be honored in this way is super special, and I'm thankful. And that was in a phone interview. It was a great year for women's basketball and women's sports. The male AP Male Athlete of the Year is Otani, who just won a World Series, won the World Series, had a phenomenal season. And then it just goes on to talk about her accolades and in the NCAA, breaking the scoring record for both men and women, how many points she finished with, etc. So, many of us have followed the journey and we understand why she would be honored in this way. And then she gets high praise from Rebecca Lobo. Remember, she won the award in 95. And she said, I would say she's navigated it almost flawlessly. talking about the pressure and attention from that a 22-year-old is handling well, flawlessly, almost flawlessly. She hasn't had any big missteps or misspeaks at a time when you're under constant scrutiny. She seemed to say and do all the right things. That's just incredible at a time when it's constant attention and scrutiny. She has not done anything to tarnish the sport of mild persona, she has. So Clark went on to say, I'm thankful for the people I got to do it with. A year ago, I was still in the early part of my senior year in college, how fast things change. And now I can see how great a college season it was. Now that she's had some time to look back. And even Tyrese Halliburton of the Pacers, he talked about the popularity that she has. He says it's a different type of popularity. She's one of the most popular athletes in the world. It's not just women's sports anymore. And that's absolutely true. She surpasses just women's sports. She surpasses basketball, women's sports. It's wide ranging. And so he goes on to say it's really cool. And she just handles it with such grace, which is something that, as you recall, with the Rookie of the Year award, Kelsey Mitchell pointed out the grace that she has handled everything with. And so, yeah, it just goes on with a few more quotes. And it talks about some of her accolades. And here's some of them. We know I think she broke 62 records. And so it mentions, obviously, first, the AP Female Athlete of the Year, most points, Division I history, men and women, top pick WNBA draft, WNBA Rookie of the Year, fastest to reach 100 threes in WNBA history, etc. I mean, there's so much. Lobo says she's brought unprecedented attention both in the building, but also viewership to the sport that was worthy of it, but didn't have it yet. There's never been anything like this. Yeah, that's true. There's never been anything like this, which is something that Amber Cox, remember, had said in that interview. I did a video on what Lisa Bluter said and Amber Cox said about people who felt like she shouldn't have been the Time magazine, or that the whole WNBA should be the Time player of the year, or athlete of the year. In any case, Rebecca Lobo says it right. There's never been anything like this, as did Halliburton. So yeah, look at this chart. This is talking about the attendance, in the WNBA. The WNBA had its highest total attendance in 22 years, up 48% from last season. 48%. 154 sellouts marked a 242% increase. And look at that. Look at that. I'm not big on graphics. I'm more of a word person, but I don't have to be big on it to see what that. Look at that. That's wild. And it talks about TV viewership being up, on and on and on. I will put the link in the description for this video so that you can take a look at that yourself. So congratulations to Caitlin, because she just continues to do amazing things and to be recognized for those amazing things. I want to show you one more thing, and then I want to wrap this up with some comments, some further comments. Caitlin was also awarded Best Sports Business Athlete. And this speaks to what we're saying, that it's on the court, but it goes beyond the court. And check out this first paragraph. No one thought this day would ever come. An NBA team riding a WNBA team's coattails. But that's how Caitlin has changed the world. Remember when Kelsey Mitchell said that with the Rookie of the Year too? How she has changed the world. Seems like such a huge statement to make. And others are saying it as well. And so it says the Indiana Fever are now a global brand. Should be Indiana Fever is a global brand. I know I shouldn't say that, but the English teacher in me always cringes when I see that, and I see it all the time. But anyway, the Indiana Fever is now a global brand that Indiana Pacers executives say they can only hope to someday replicate. So here you have an NBA team hoping to be like a WNBA team. And it says she has unlocked the power of women's athletics with a following that has drawn comparisons to Michael Jordan in his Chicago Bulls heyday. And I think Christy Sides had said it was sort of like the Beatles. I think Jan Jensen said that too, said it's hyperbole, but wow. So yeah, the average attendance at Indiana Fever home games this year, a WNBA record, 17,035. Talks about Nike deals, talks about State Farm, talks about all these endorsements that she has, including Wilson, of course, which has been great for her. Wow. it's just phenomenal how she got offered $1 million for 3-on-3, the big three. How her salary is not much in comparison to obviously NBA salaries, but through endorsements, her net worth is believed to be 3.8 million. That's why we're talking about business athlete, right? 3.8 million, soon to be more than 4 million. And obviously she played in the Pro-Am in November. She had all kinds of she just attracted all kinds of interest. And here's the cool thing. The WNBA is not oblivious, and according to sources, eventually will schedule a fever game overseas to capitalize on her Q rating. Privately, the plan is to market the Fever like they're America's team. And that's a great idea. I mean, they already have the right colors in their jersey for the most part. Houston Comets was America's team, was my team, and they had the perfect colors. The Indiana Fever is pretty close in their colors and their stars on the jerseys, on the side of the jerseys as well. So it says they're going to market them. Plan is as America's team. And then I love this, which they already are. And speaking of the WNBA, I was glad to see that the WNBA posted about Caitlin being the AP Female Athlete of the Year. That's pretty good. Obviously, the Indiana Fever pointed out the business award as well as the AP award. And that's great because this is great for the sports, not just great for Caitlin, but it's great for the sport. That's what we've been saying all along. That's what I said before the season even started, that if you have someone who has done as much and has done as well as Caitlin has, and it causes people to tune in, then everybody benefits from that. And so I just wanted to say congratulations. And I want to say this too. This is such a great thing when it's not just when it's Caitlin, but when it's anyone, when it was Candace Parker, when it was Rebecca Lobo, when it was Cheryl Swoops. There are people who look and say, wow, if she can do it, I can do it. And that's supposed to be inspirational. Not a lot of the comparisons that we're seeing right now. I'm not even going to name anybody. You see them out there all the time, and they kind of do it in a way that pits one against the other. And I'm saying that this is the kind of thing that could be used positively, because what athlete doesn't want to be, hey, athlete of the year or female athlete of the year or best sports or best sports business athlete, these kinds of things. You've got people who can look at that and say, yeah, I want to do that. And we talk about the young girls, and now in this case, the young guys who can look at NBA, WNBA, college, and say, wow, I can have success like that. And it may not be with a basketball in your hand, it may be with something else, especially with the Caitlin, because she's doing so many things beyond her quote unquote her sport. You can look at that and say, hey, I can work hard and I can achieve. Listen, it puts dreams in people, and it's not just young people. It was Cynthia Cooper who made me say, I know I'm older. I know I was born a little bit too early and I'm in my career as a teacher, but maybe I could get an opportunity to play in the WNBA. Cynthia Cooper's doing it in her 30s. Maybe I can. And I went to the WNBA fantasy camp, and and it was a dream. I thought maybe I could get it done. Maybe I could get it done. And ultimately it wasn't God's will for my life, and I wasn't ready for that. But it gave me that dream. I went to that camp. I worked hard, and I was out there. I would have people say, young people, I would say, man, Miss Ross, students, were you even better when you were younger? And I'm like, I'm better now than I ever was, because watching a Cynthia Cooper, watching a Cheryl Swoops, watching some of these players, a Dawn Staley even, made me go, wow, I want to get out. Even, after the dream was over, I'm not going to get this opportunity to play. I still wanted to be able to get out there and ball with the best of them, and pick up basketball, whatever. But it has a way of inspiring people. But yeah, it made me think maybe I can have a run at this WNBA. I even wrote a letter to the New York Liberty asking for a tryout, and I have a letter they wrote me back, and I cannot find it. I don't know what I did with it, but yeah. Let me interject here lest I be misunderstood. I sent the letter to the New York Liberty not because I was a New York Liberty fan. Oh, perish the thought. I was the absolute antithesis of a New York Liberty fan. But I was living in upstate New York, and that was the closest team. and I just wanted to ball. Just wanted to make that clear, okay? So people like Caitlin make other people say, I'm going to work hard, I can do well. There is a reward for hard work, and also talent. God gives us talent, and then we do our part to see how far we go. So I'm rambling a little bit, but I just wanted to say things like these are things that we have to be willing to celebrate. And when we can applaud other people, everybody benefits all around, and lots of people get inspired. Okay, is there a dream that you had that you went for? Is there a dream that you still have that you know that you should go for? Come on, somebody. What about you? Leave your comments and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. I'll catch you next time, God willing. God bless you abundantly.